Okay, so we are coming on the last steps of completing this quilt. So we've already hand tied it in the previous video, and now we're going to bind it together. And I'm going to use the backing fabric in order to do that. So here I have the a little extra of the batting that I'm going to trim some of it off, um, just because it's too, I feel it's going to be too bulky to kind of fold it over. Um, I mean, it probably could work, but it's just, I don't know. I just think it's going to be a little too bulky. So I am going to trim it down just a tad bit. My puff quilt on top of my ironing board, and what I'm going to do next, since I've already cut the batting in the middle down, all I'm going to do now is just fold. I'm going to fold my backing over it, and then I'm going to iron it flat, and then that way I can just come back and then pin it down like this, and then I'm able to sew the binding together. At this point, I'm not really measuring for preciseness. I'm just, eyeballing it to where it looks like it's gonna work for me to be able to fold it over. Making this quilt has been very fun, and it just kind of shows me how, when our ancestors used to make quilts, they made quilts for practical use, where they needed something warm, to sleep under during the winter. So, you know, the technique of like hand tying made it really quick and easy to bind a quilt together. And a lot of times they didn't have a lot of the tools that we have now, to where we can have precise cuts and perfect blocks and all these things. And even a lot of times the batting that they had in between their quilt top and their backing fabric wasn't always the same thing. Sometimes they use straw and hay and even other pieces of fabric to put in between their quilts. So, making this quilt was definitely an experience that I loved, and I'm definitely going to continue making them. And I appreciate everyone for staying this long into this video. Thank you. So I'm using this pearl cotton to finish binding my quilt. Not sure if you can see where I've started with the stitchings here. And I'm not going through the entire quilt. I'm only going through the binding layer and the top layer here to secure this together.